The worst she can say is no, right?
私にその気は全くないのだから。だいたい成功の可能性が全く望めない作戦行動を続けるのは合理的ではない。何、無謀な作戦の失敗は良い作戦につながる道だ。君も速やかに新たな道を模索したまえ。
Ah, romance, a genre found in every type of entertainment media out there. We all enjoy a little bit of romance no matter who you are. I for one can admit I'm a sucker for my romance shows, not just in anime, but even some K-dramas, J-dramas, and some good old novelas. But let's focus on romance anime, a genre so abundant that I will be impressed that someone out there has managed to watch all of them that have ever come out. So let's take a closer look at the genre, what it offers, and why is it so popular. There are so many different gimmicks that everyone is able to find in romance anime for them. From classics like Childhood Friends, Romeo and Juliet plot stories, enemies to lovers, the popular student ending with the least popular one, and so many more. There are cozy, wholesome ones. Then there are ones that just leave you completely depressed and hating life. We also can't forget the most popular running joke in the romance anime genre, where the blue hair girl has no chance of winning at all, despite a majority of the time being the right choice, except her. Fuck her. With so many options out there, you're bound to find one that you really like. If wholesome and depression isn't your cup of tea, well my friend, we also have degenerate ones. Things like excessive fan service and ecchi shows. Look, I'm not one to judge. A little bit of degenerate shows from time to time isn't a bad thing. But here's where we get into some questionable territory, with the biggest one that comes to mind. Loving your family a little too much. Way too much. Well, at least the people in Alabama have something to watch and relate to. We can keep poking fun of the wild and unhinged things we can find in the genre all day. But the real question is, why are romance anime so popular, even more now? Well, to begin with, the whole genre is mainly targeted to a younger audience, but there are the occasional more adult-themed ones out there. With the target demographic being teens and even young adults, it's no wonder why we see the majority of them be set in schools. But here's where the genre becomes so appealing to a vast age of viewers. You see, if you know even a little bit about Japanese culture, you have heard of one of the most infamous things about Japan, and that is the work culture. Working long hours, having little to no work-life balance, and feeling depressed. It's so bad that they even have the word karoshi, which is often used to describe people being overworked to death. It's no wonder people who hate their current way of life find some sort of disconnect or nostalgia when watching these type of shows. When you see a show set in a time of youth, you start to reminisce, and not just for the Japanese audience, but for everyone watching these shows. At the time of your school life, you may have hated it and just wished to become an adult as soon as possible. Now you may be an adult, but there's a part of you that looks back at that time where you were simply just a student, not worrying about societal pressures, bills to pay, and other bullshit things that comes with being an adult. A simpler time where you felt like you had all the time in the world. That's the reason why so many find some connection to school romance anime. They can have moments in the shows that makes them remember a similar experience to their own youth. Perhaps that feeling of hanging out with your friends, that nervousness and butterflies you get when talking to your crush, and those summers that just felt endless. These might be some major reasons why so many people love watching romance anime, but there's one thing that can be considered the biggest reason. That is loneliness. In Japan alone, according to the Japan Times, a recent survey conducted by the Cabinet Office found that nearly half of Japanese nationals have experienced loneliness and isolation. It's not just Japan, but it seems to be anywhere you go, especially when it comes to loneliness in men. With romance anime now being more and more tailored to a male audience, many are able to self-insert in these shows and be able to connect more to the characters. Another way to put this, the viewer, even if it's for a little bit, is able to experience something that they have never experienced before. Look, there's nothing wrong with that, as we all need a way to escape from the real world, even if it's only for roughly 20 minutes, to find some sort of peace and happiness when life becomes tiring. Unlike other genres, romance anime seems to show at times a more realistic view on human interactions, showing how these characters we see are able to show their weaknesses and flaws, but they are also able to grow and learn from their mistakes. In turn, this helps the viewer be able to connect better with them and also show that they are also the same. Because of this, you are able to root for them to improve and better themselves. Perhaps we were in their shoes at some point in our lives. For me, that's what also makes romance anime so appealing, as we realize that in truth, we all want our own happy ending. I don't think I have any more to say. Maybe I missed something and I'll look back at this and wonder why I didn't talk about it. But I don't want this video to end on a sad note, so if you want to click off then that's okay, as I said everything I needed to. But if you want to stay, then let's do a quick brief list of my top 3 favorite romance anime. First off, a classic wholesome feel-good show, Teasing Master Takagi-san. The show follows our main character Nishikata's everyday life, where a girl at school named Takagi-san teases him, and it follows his point of view of him trying to get back at her. The romance is a slow burner, but it's overall just a wholesome watch. Next, Golden Time. A romance set in, what, college? Yes, a more mature one, when the main character Banri starts his new college life, with the whole catch of the show being that he suffers from amnesia due to an accident that happened to him back in his hometown. And seeing how much the trauma that Banri went through affects not just him but also the people around him that he holds dearly. Lastly, Domestic Girlfriend. Alright, in all seriousness, if I had to choose one romance anime that I consider as my all-time favorite one, then it'll likely be Tsuki ga Kirei. I know a lot of people will be turned off by the 3D characters, but compared to others, it's not so bad. The reason why I really enjoy the show is simply how realistic it tackles the love story between Akane and Kotaro. The real awkwardness that comes from the start of a relationship, especially at their age. The way we see Kotaro grow more in confidence and as a person in general thanks to Akane is one of the highlights for me in the show. It may not be the most entertaining show to most, but to me it is one of the most realist human shows out there. Also, I just can't help but laugh every time I remember this scene from the dub. I love you! I mean, what the fuck is this? Anyways, that wraps up everything in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.